Hello and welcome to this introductory video of RankCipher. In this video, I'm going to talk about different features and modules we have in RankCipher. When you first log in or run your software, you're going to see that we have different modules on the left hand side, and the options for that specific module are given in this top tab. Before starting your first project, you will have to go through global settings. In the global settings, we have different kind of settings like proxies, captcha, spinner settings, and some other settings as well. Let's talk about proxies first. In the proxies, you can either use your own proxies like your private proxies, or you can use the built-in RankCipher proxies. To use proxies, you will have to enable this option. I'm going to enable it, and then if you want to use your own proxies, you can add proxies from here. Either you can import them from a file or you can import from clipboard, and the format for that is given like that: IP, port, username, password. So if you want to use the RankCipher proxies, then you will have to click this option, and then you will have to start scraping from the RankCipher server. So it's going to scrape proxies from the RankCipher server. It will take a bit of time depending upon the number of proxies, of course. So that's done. Here I have like 26,283 proxies that are available to use right now. Now I'm going to test their location as well, and I'm going to test the proxies, like how many are working and how many are not. So it's going to take a bit of time. You can see the progress over here. 14 proxies are working and 5 failed. So it's going to test all the proxies one by one, so it's going to take a bit of time. Meanwhile, I'm going to talk about rest of the settings. Then we have indexing services over here. For indexing, we have Linklicious, Lindexed, 1 hour indexing, and some other services. You can use any of those, or you can use multiple indexing services at once. To use any service, you will have to give their API key over here. You can just copy paste, or you can enter over here. Similarly, you will have to give their app ID. So once you have these details added over here, you can check the service that you want to use for your projects. You can use multiple, or you can select all of the services, but for that you will have to give API key and app ID for all of them. Okay. You can set up the HTML timeout. That's for one submission. For example, if RankCipher is submitting your content to a specific site, it's going to wait 60 seconds for the response. If the response doesn't come in 60 seconds, then it's going to time out that and move to the next website. These are different locations where your sites list are stored for the RankCipher projects. For identified lists, I'm going to talk about that later. What is identified, what is submitted, and what is verified. But you can remember that you can change the directory of your websites from here. So now let's move on to the captcha settings. We have different captcha companies integrated with RankCipher. You can use any of those, or you can use like multiple captcha services at once. To use any captcha service, you will have to give their login or password, API key, or anything that they provide. For example, some companies provide login and password, some provide login and API key. So you will have to enter that those details over here. Death by captcha and 2CAPTCHA are mostly recommended because they are able to solve the latest reCAPTCHA service from Google. So for that, you're going to use 2CAPTCHA or Death by captcha. There are some other captcha breakers like CAPTCHA Breaker and CAPTCHA Sniper and CAPTCHA Monster. They are basically software tools that you can install on your computer, and then they are going to solve captchas for you. So you can use those as well if you want. If you want to check balance for a specific captcha service, you can just select the service over here. If you have the details for login and password, then you can check the balance by clicking on this button. So next is a spinner settings. For spinner, we have word AI, spin rewriter, chimp rewriter, X spinner, spinner bros. So you can use any of that. Now we have some other tools, APIs integrated, for example Moz, Majestic. You can use them for multiple purposes, for example live link checking, domain checking, and some other purposes. Similarly, we have SEO content machine over here as well. SEO content machine is another third-party software or a service that you can use for content generation purpose for your SEO campaigns. So that's all about the global settings. You can see that it's still testing the proxies. 268 working, 224 failed, and you can increase the threads over here to speed up the process over here as well, but you will have to do that before starting the testing proxies project.